I'd like to ask for Sharon Ilstrup. She's a friend from Clover Park High School to speak next.
Ooh, that's tough to start off from. Thank you for this opportunity to speak about my best friend Bryan. Although he was never ever Bryan to me, he's always been Bubba. My name is Sharon Ilstrup, and I've known Bubba since junior high. We've been best friends for over 40 years.
Hmm.
We lived in the military town of Washington State, Lakewood, Washington, which, as our dear friend Juanita so beautifully wrote recently, is located between two military bases. And for many of our classmates, it was the first place we were able to stay put long enough to call home and form friendships. Many of us are still extremely close 40 years later. We cherish these friendships, knowing how lucky we are to have roots. And this won't surprise anyone on here. Bubba, even though he lived across the country, was the catalyst who brought us all together when he came to town. As long as I've known Bubba, he's had a camera around his neck. He was back then what the smartphone is today, everywhere, always pointing that thing at you, and you were never safe and had to be on your best behavior, or you would show up in the yearbook or Cloverleaf, our little newspaper in high school. Our high school was built as a result of the World War II military boom. And this is where Bubba got his first big photojournalism break, which I believe is what lit the fire of passion for journalism. That pun is definitely intended. In February of 1981, we were in English class when fire alarms started blaring. Although they were malfunctioning that day, it's frankly a miracle no one was killed. We were all evacuated from our high school and sent to stand across the street. On the way out of class, Bubba grabbed his bag, which had his camera in it, and I'm pretty sure it was his very first camera, his Pentax K1000. We watched in horror mixed with excitement because, it was high school, as black smoke and flames poured from the roof, totally engulfing our school, mainly the gym and the music room. And there was Bubba with his camera capturing photos of the flames as they billowed from what used to be the roof. Those photos were published in our little school newspaper and also in our town paper, and that was his very first paid gig. Bubba was that one friend who was always there for me. There will never be another. We stayed in close touch over the years, texting and talking almost every week. I was lucky enough to meet Tahira when their kids, Shawn and Jackson, were very young, and we have stayed very close. I'm also extremely grateful that Bubba came out last Valentine's Day with Abe, and we had a big group lunch in Seattle with our friends. It was wonderful to see him so happy and so in love again. We were joking over chat 2 days before his death about what we were going to wear as each other's dates to the virtual inauguration. He was so happy with how that election turned out. Bubba was a rare force who could not only bring people together even after life, but also forge deep friendships with each of us. Sometimes you don't realize the massive impact someone has on your life until they're gone. There will never, ever be another Bryan Monroe. His death leaves a hole that just can't be filled. So much love to you, Shauna, Jackson, Abe, and Tahira.